People who work for the super wealthy, what stuff have you seen? My sister is a butler for a super wealthy family. The family once got this super expensive rare breed cat. A few months later, the wife tells my sister she can feel the cat isn't quite happy in their house, so she asks my sis to take their private jet to drop the cat off in their mansion on Lake Como, Italy, so it could spend a holiday in the sun. That same woman would sometimes berate my sister for buying soap in plastic dispensers instead of just soap bars because it's bad for our planet. They also bought this insanely huge, super luxurious cabin in one of the most expensive ski stations in Switzerland. They realized the cabin, more like a mansion really, right next to theirs was for sale, so they bought that one as well just so they wouldn't have close neighbors. I bartended at a fancy party in a very wealthy old couple's house where these people had art on display they had bought from museums. I was working in a room where 3 walls were glass, and you could see this beautiful manicured garden with sculptures. When the sun started to set, these big, floppy-eared white bunnies started to appear and frolic around the yard. I asked someone who worked in the house about the rabbits. The rich people bought them as a garden feature. Every once in a while, they had to cull the rabbit population. The rabbits were decorations. This was also the night when I was making an older man a drink, and he decided to ask me, "So what are the poor people doing tonight?" My friend's wife was a nanny for a family where both parents were VPs of a pharmaceutical company and were already from old money families. They paid her $1,000 a week in cash to basically be a full-time parent. When she left around 5 p.m., they had a second nighttime nanny that would come and take over. The kids were not allowed to go to their grandparents' house because the grandparents had a lot of nice antiques and were afraid the kids would break something. When she quit, the kids had to be put in grief counseling because they felt like they lost a parent. The parents would regularly have to ask her what their favorite food was, what they enjoy doing, what clothes they like, and what sizes they wear. She loved the money but said it just became too depressing to keep doing it because of how little they cared about interacting with their children. If you enjoy this video, please give us a like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I work in IT consulting and management. Some of our clients are very rich and very private. One of our clients comes from old money. They pay us to manage the IT for their main property, a huge ranch/mansion surrounded by other ranch properties they own. When I walked in the front door to this place, I was greeted by a real jaguar that was stuffed and posed on a boulder. One of their properties has a massive warehouse that feels like that last scene in Indiana Jones' Raiders of the Lost Ark. They have rows of family history, files, letters, trophies, etc. It even has a temperature and humidity-controlled room within. In there, I saw a mix of family heirlooms, artifacts, old art, and even a row just for the stamps and seals they have used for their hundreds of businesses through the years. But I knew they were true wealth when I saw pictures of multiple generations with British royalty. Some family members of this client played on the same polo team as the main British royal family, and one of their many businesses is breeding and selling horses to that crowd. Some of the horses in their stable are worth £1 million+ pounds. It's the kind of money and connections I will never earn or create in a single lifetime. It's crazy to witness. I worked as one of 4 full-time groundskeepers at a large estate, 46 acres of lawn to mow twice a week, 2 clay tennis courts, 3 pools, 1 for the main house, and 1 for each of the 2 guest houses, 100+ acre private lake with boathouse. No clue how big the whole estate was, including the woods. My personal favorite was the 3-mile personal racetrack. But what really blew my mind was that he hosted his niece's wedding one summer and paid $350,000 to have this massive willow tree trucked in and planted by the lake for wedding photos, only to pay another $50,000 to have it removed, and the landscaping returned to its original state after the wedding because he did not like the look of it. I am a dentist, and I used to own a dental office in an extremely wealthy area. I feel like really rich people come in 2 flavors. Very humble and generous, or just 100% a-hole. Most are the a-hole, not much in the middle. True wealthy people care a lot about time, not money. If there was any hiccup in a procedure or something wasn't correct, they would flip out. 99% of the issues they would flip out about I could fix, but that meant they had to make another dentist appointment, which wasted their time. I hated working with rich people. Best day of my life is when I sold that dental office. I was the project manager for a mansion built for one of the founders of a major health insurance company here in the US. This guy was one of the best, if not the best, billionaire I've ever worked for. He showed up nearly every day in shorts and flip-flops and would treat all of us like equals. This was around the time that President Obama was about to put out Obamacare. I was in a meeting with the owner, and President Obama called him on his cell to discuss the plan. The owner tells us to hold on. The president is calling. We thought he was joking. He then asks Obama to say hi to the team, and he did. It was surreal to be at the table with him when the call came through, and an experience I will never forget. I worked in landscape construction for a boutique company in high school and college. We had a good relationship with a prominent landscape architect who traveled across the country every week for projects. The jobs he referred us to were the most interesting. Two come to mind. There was a client who spent $5 million renovating a $2 million house just because they liked the trees on the property. There was a particular tree we couldn't even go near with sharp-edged or power tools. It was written into the contract. Another client was a fledgling software mogul with a vacation house in the area. They wanted to replace a specific type of shell that lined the property, and only after we laid it and finished the job did we find that it wasn't the exact same type. We had to contact vendors across the country to find the right type and had it trucked 800 miles to the property. The client had no qualms about paying for any of this. They just wanted it to their specifications. As someone who grew up in extreme poverty, it was a shakeup to see people routinely throw tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars at vanity projects to impress their neighbors. Ironically, a lot of the richest clients and neighbors of clients we serviced, 100 millionaires to billionaires, would hire the cheapest maintenance crews and keep their run-of-the-mill native grasses. You'd get done working on a $30,000 project for a multi-millionaire, and then farther up the street in their gated community was a billionaire having their lawn mowed by workers who were picked up that morning at a 7-Eleven. Besides the extravagant projects, we dealt with a lot of elderly people who were fairly successful and saved well. They were always very particular about what they wanted, and most made sure to let us hear it if we strayed from their vision. A lot of them loved to talk to us, but there usually was a sense of superiority from them. They'd brag about their grandkids or children who were going to various colleges, and in the same breath, couldn't believe it when they found out I was going to a more prestigious school. It made me realize quickly that even if you work hard, play your cards the right way, and find success, you still probably won't make it into their world. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to my channel for more Reddit stories. This is Reddit Story Hour. See you in the next video.